What I'd like to share with you is a lifetime gift that I received about 25 years ago. And that gift became deeper and deeper and more meaningful in the last 5 years. And I give credit to Fariba, who said that I should share this with you. And it is an emotional moment for me, but I will share it with you. In every civilization, in every generation, there are a few legends. And if you get touched by those legends, you are extremely, extremely blessed. Somebody like Salim is a legend in the making. In 20 years' time, the whole world will be talking about the great changes that he makes. I was touched by one person like this, who, as a university student, I was struggling, and I picked up one of his books at Swiss Cottage Library in London, and my life has never been the same. And I'd like to share this person. His name is Tony Buzan, Professor Tony Buzan. He is the inventor of mind mapping, and we did a lot of things together. We decided to touch 1 billion lives. This was in Poland. We were reaching 1 billion children with learning. This was in Pakistan. We went to Bangladesh, basically to impart knowledge. He was a trainer for Olympic athletes. This we did together. And we travel all over the world. And the reason I am sharing this with you is that last Friday, very suddenly, he had a stroke, 76 years old, and he passed away. And he passed away, and he taught me many, many things. He was known as the Plato of our times. And he was all of this. And these are some of the things that we did together. And as the Plato of our times, just imagine that Plato, Aristotle, Socrates was your best friend, and he passes away. And that's part of what I am feeling today, and I wanted to share with you. The gift that he gave to me was the gift of mind mapping. But it's not just a technique, it became a way of life. All my books, my notes, my work, and so on. And do you guys think I'm creative and mad? I give a lot of that to him because he helped me to bring out myself and to become completely crazy and mad. And there's a video later on, if we have time, I'll share with you. And he said, he called me Q, which actually became my brand. My name ends with a Q and it starts with a Q. And he said, Q, you are completely and totally eccentric. And he said, do you know the meaning of eccentric? I said, I suppose I do. He said, no, it's off-center in a normal distribution curve. And the further you go, the madder you become. My company's name is Mad. And he said, the Steve Jobs of the world, the Einsteins of the world, the Da Vincis of the world, they were at the extreme. And when you go to the extreme, then they go deeper and they become perfectionists in their own lives. But we all need tools, we all need methods. And he basically created a method of how our mind actually works. So it's a big loss that he left as early as he did. If he was here today, what he would ask you while having tea and coffee, he would say very sweetly that, so what are you doing in the year, on the 2nd of June, 2042? And you say, what the hell would I be doing? How would I know what I'm doing in the year 2042? So he used to invite everybody to his 100th birthday. Thank you. We would like to be here for your 100th birthday on the 2nd of June, 2042. What new stories will we be celebrating when we come back to your birthday in a place like this?
So when you see that star, and you think, oh, twinkle, twinkle, little star, that light has traveled from that star like 3 billion years ago, which means that that light beam is saying, hi, Tony, you know, I was, or I am, in that light beam, a giant star, and we will be incredibly fit and strong. I think that by the time I'm 100, I'll probably be 125. Because medicine is going so fast.
Yes.
That if I make it to 100, anybody who's 100 will probably make it to 125. If I make it to 125, by that time medicine will have got people for 125, they'll be 200. So maybe I'll be 200.
And this was his hope always. And he gave me this. This is a brain neuron. He said, you're a warrior of the brain. You go and open people's minds. So go out there and help people and inspire people. And hopefully I do a little bit of that. What I'd like to share with you is one of his learnings and one of his teachings. And this is, you in the next 10 minutes, you will learn a new language. He calls it the human language. And the human language that we see is, you know, when we are taught how to read, we read like this, right? This is how we are schooled. He said that is not how the mind reads. And he shared with us, and I'm going to have a little test with you, so please play with me, because this is about being playful in the memory of a person who was extremely playful. He was like a child. Picasso once was asked when he was 82 years old, he said, what is your biggest wish in your life? And he said, to be able to draw like a 6-year-old again. And he was exactly the same. He was playful. He was like a kid. And that playfulness is what made him very, very creative. So we don't call our workshops in my business workshops anymore. We call them play shops. Because you need to play to learn. That's how kids learn, and that's how we should be learning. So let's now just work with me on this. For the next sort of 10 seconds, if you close your eyes and I'll throw a word at you, please think about that word and then tell me what you get back, okay? So please close your eyes. And the word is banana. When you close your eyes and think of a banana, what do you think? What goes into your mind? What do you see? What connections? What stories? Something like that that might reach you. Just think about it. Yes. Just close your eyes. Don't ask me a question. Thank you. When you open please open your eyes. So just a little bit of feedback. What did you see, ma'am? Monkeys. Monkeys. What did you see? Three Gandhi monkeys. What did you see? Monkeys. Obviously bananas and monkeys go together. Anybody else? Banana? Banana cake. She's still hungry, for God's sake. So, did any one of us see a B-A-N-A-N-A coming out of our brain like that in black and white? Nobody. But guess what? That is the way we are taught. We are taught how to read like that. But actually, what we and our brain looks at is this. Firstly, the color is, you always see color, you see an image, and then you see this kind of stuff going on. You see monkeys, you see playfulness. This is how our mind works. This is how our brain works. This is how we remember things. This is how creativity develops. This is the gift that he gave to me. What he said was that if you take any project, any business, any transformation, anything that you're doing, put it in the middle. And then there are hooks that come out from there, and you start connecting those hooks. And in those, you use imagination, which is image expanded. And you use association, which is connections expanded. And this is infinite. It just keeps growing. So as you're doing your transformations, as you're doing your new businesses, as you're connecting, you keep connecting, growing, growing, growing. And this is his gift. And what he did was he created the whole concept of connecting from the center as a metaphor and then going out there. And this, he said, is the core human language. Our English language and Arabic language and Italian language are subtexts. Have you ever seen kids suffering in a playground in terms of communication? No, because that's the language they speak in. They play with each other, they connect with each other, and that's how it all works. these were some tips on creativity. We can all improve our creativity. You saw me talk about that on the first day. This was my application to Facebook. I was down to a short list of 3, and this is my CV. And for the CEO for Middle East, Africa, and Turkey about 4 years ago. This is how I presented it, and the lady who was the president of Facebook, she actually called me from London, and she said, this is the only CV I understood, because on one page you told me everything that I needed to know. And I draw pictures, and I was putting hearts in there, and I'm talking about Facebook.org and so on. Now, I'm glad I didn't get the job, because today I would be a digital gangster being with Facebook. But that's another story. This is how I did. This was how I have a moonshot. I have a tombstone. And in my tombstone, I have game on. I was 100% mad, and that's what I have on my MTP. And this is what I do. So what happens when you put things like that? And you guys think of it from a creative perspective. This is why this session is called Creative Infusion. It's creative because I have a mission, I have a voice. My moonshots, I want to win the Nobel Peace Prize by the year 2030. Crazy shit, but it's a good moonshot to have. And that's the kind of hope that we need to have. Those are the kind of MTPs we need to have, how we can change humanity. This is what I learned. That is what I'd like to share with you, and the gift to you is find a way to produce this for yourself. As you can see, I want to have lots of muscles and be very slim. So this is part of what I wanted to do. This is another thing he taught me, which is really a rule for life. Every single presentation that I do, every single interview that I do, you'll never see me with a piece of paper. And the reason is, this is how my brain works. This is how cognitively all brains work. Primacy is remembering the first thing. Recency is remembering the last thing. One big thing. Imagination and association. I speak through words, but through images and pictures and metaphors and humor. This was the second learning I had. A third learning I had from him was something I shared yesterday, was multiple intelligences. He said, Q, you are a very creative person. Why don't you sharpen your other intelligences? Your sensual intelligence, your physical intelligence, your spiritual intelligence, your spatial intelligence. And these are amongst the things, the learnings that we have. And in this process, when we were reaching a billion people, and both of us were completely nuts, both of us were completely mad, and we went out on this mission to create a butterfly universe, this metamorphosis for young people, for learning how to learn, learning how memory works, thinking about thinking, and metacognition. And in this process, we created this global movement, which has faltered a little bit. I ran out of money, so I created a new business to be able to pay for this. But that's another thing. When we go out, we create playful butterflies. Millions of children have already been touched by doing that. All their parents were really upset because they thought that their kids had tattoos, but they weren't. They were just little markers. And I'd like you, and this, by the way, was the launch of the project. I was the egg. My niece was the caterpillar. My friend's daughter, she was a little pupa. And my other friend, Sally's daughter, Ella, was the butterfly. And this is the metamorphosis, and this is the playfulness that we were working with. But the core purpose is about learning and about developing people and developing our creative future. These are just some examples of that. So what I'd like to request you, ladies and gentlemen, to do, because all of you, all of us, are deep down very creative people. And in that memory of creativity, and may I request you to take a piece of paper in front of you and some colored pens. And what he shared with us, just indulge me, just take a piece of paper. It'll help you think and synthesize your day today. And with something that is genuinely meaningful. And that is that I'd like you to draw a butterfly. Every person in this room will have a different butterfly. There are lots of colored pens. Please don't do it in black and white. The world is not black and white. The world is in color. So please do it in color. Share the pens around. There should be more colored pens. Literally everybody can draw, whether you're 4 years old or you're 400 years old, everybody can draw a butterfly, right? And then color the butterfly in whichever way you want. So this is one of the butterflies this girl did. Here's another kid who drew his butterfly. Everybody has color in them. Everybody has creativity inside them. Everybody has some kind of emotion. And while you're doing this, earlier on we were talking about our dreams. We were talking about how we can build our futures. And if it's in black and white, you are boring in black and white. If it's in color, depends how big it is. We can give you more pens. Just get involved in it. Think about your dreams. Think about what you want to do. Think about your children. And then we'll take these butterflies at the end and put them somewhere and take a picture or something. This will be our little montage. And enjoy while you're doing it. This is what we need to do in our work, is to have fun, be playful, connect. This was my learning, and this is what helps me be creative in business and in life. Other than a few exceptions, if you look around, everybody seems to be enjoying themselves. And you've got lots of nice colors. Fill it up, make it whatever, design it. Great. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much for sharing this with me. I am being ignored. And you know why I'm being ignored? Because you're having fun, precisely. I've done this with children, and we have ordered lunch, we've got them pizza, and they start working, and they are not moving. And this was his gift of parting fun. And for me, really, I wanted to share with this because he's one of the closest people in the world for me. But more than that, I think the world lost somebody. So what I'm going to be doing is taking this message of learning, of development to the billion kids and getting it out there in the best way I possibly can. Thank you very much indeed for listening. Like, everybody's got a butterfly, Kashif. Kashif? Can you just take that butterfly, please, whatever you've drawn, and just put it up like that? And can you just take a picture, please? That's a very strange heart-based butterfly. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. All right, super. I really appreciate it. And you'll see lots and lots of things happening in terms of learning and development.